return from my first sabbatical, there was clearly a lot of reflecting that I need to do on it, and it's made me think a great deal. As this was my first sabbatical, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but having 2.5 months to be away from my normal workplace, there's certainly a number of things that I wanted to engage with God over. But one of the things that struck me most was we have a God of surprises. And despite my planning and thinking, some of the initial reflections I've got relate to the people that I met. I stayed with a couple of bishops in the United States. Both of them highly inspirational people, but in very different ways. There's no sense of cloning within the Church of God. So going to see a bishop in the southern states of America and seeing how the church is growing amongst Spanish speakers was really enlightening and surprising. Seeing how you can discover God in people in a very different traditional way, and yet people who are still committed to seeing Jesus Christ. And then traveling across the states by train, and then staying with a bishop in North Indiana, seeing how God is using him and the church there to make a difference in the world. So as well as big differences, there are great similarities. The diocese over there are struggling with reduced numbers, and how do they become church to a changing society? But being inspired by those who had great ideas, flying on to the UK, meeting up with bishops in Scotland, in Wales and in England, and seeing their inspiring stories, but in very different circumstances. So one of the things I've come away with is how God works through individuals to encourage and to build us up. So coming back to Dunedin, with all these stories in mind, it's quite clear that a lot of them just don't translate very directly. At the moment in Dunedin, we don't have a need for Spanish speaking, though who knows what will happen in the future. But at the heart of it all is a sense of how is God speaking to us today where we are. It's not just bishops, it's not just clergy, it's all of us who are baptized. We take away a sense of how is the other person needing to meet with God, and how can I build them up? Yes, we have problems here. There's no church which doesn't have problems, but underneath it all is the foundation of Jesus Christ, who seeks us to be his people.